So there's the question of time. What is it really? Is there such a thing as time, or is time an invention of thought? And of course it is. Um, we only know time by thinking about the past and thinking about the future. And so time consists of memory and anticipation. But really, we can never experience time. We can never experience the past. If you ask yourself, can I experience the past right now? You can't. It only exists as a thought. And if you say, and no one, alternately, can you ask yourself, can anyone experience the future? And you say no, because it's just a thought, a projection. It's a projection of experience, past experiences, into expectations for the future, hopes. So I've been reading Krishnamurti. This book is The Origins of Intelligence, The Awakening of Intelligence, rather. And this man was he was found as a boy, malnourished street boy in India by the Theosophical Society. And the Theosophical Society was a group of intellectuals, truth seekers from European nations and United States that formed an organization that was based on the idea that all wisdom traditions or religions pointed to the same truth. That was their teaching. That there was an underlying esoteric truth beyond, that was the purpose of all wisdom traditions. So, esoteric as opposed to exoteric. Exoteric is what the common man knows, what is taught, what is indoctrinated, was it inculcated into the man by society, by a hierarchical structure and political structure, which is religion, teaches man to follow these rules and rituals, which are really empty nonsense. We know empty bullshit and nonsense. But the esoteric purpose of wisdom traditions was all the same. So these people found this boy, and they recognized in him. So these are very, very bright people. They found this boy, and they took him in, and they recognized something very special about him. And they started to train him. And after a while, they came to the idea, the foolish idea that this boy, would be the new world savior, like a Buddha or a Christ. So he must have been very special. I mean, these people were not ignorant. They were just had this foolish notion. They were bright people. So they trained him in all the world's spiritual traditions. He had a massive education, and they structured his life from the moment he woke up to the moment he went to sleep, and it was all about education, taught him all meditation techniques, everything. So this man was the epitome of a learned scholar, with all the practices and techniques. And to make a long story short, when he reached the age of majority, he rejected everything. He rejected all of that. All religions, all teachers, all doctrines, all gurus, all any type of authority and social institutions. And he spent the rest of his life teaching that the way to truth and knowledge is through the self. It's an individual journey. It has nothing to do with any type of teachings or doctrine or dogma or ideology. So And we recognize that as phenomenology today. So, get back to the idea of time. A questioner asked him, can you go into psychological time? What is it? So Krishnamurti says, time is old age, time is sorrow, time doesn't heed. There is chronological time by the watch that must exist, otherwise you won't be able to catch your bus, cook a meal, and all the rest of it. But there is another kind of time which we have accepted. That is, tomorrow I will be, tomorrow I will change, tomorrow I will become. Psychologically, we have created time, tomorrow. Is there a tomorrow psychologically? That question fills us with dread to ask seriously, because we want tomorrow. I shall have the pleasure of meeting you tomorrow. I'm going to understand tomorrow. My life will be different tomorrow. I will realize enlightenment tomorrow. Therefore, tomorrow becomes the most important thing in our life. You had sex yesterday, all the pleasures, all the agonies, whatever it is, and you want it tomorrow because you want that same pleasure repeated. Put that question to yourself and find out the truth of it. Is there a tomorrow at all? Except in thought, which projects tomorrow. So tomorrow is the invention of thought as time. And if there is no tomorrow psychologically, what happens in life today? Then there is a tremendous revolution, isn't there? Then your whole action undergoes a radical change, doesn't it? Then you're completely whole now, not projecting from the past, through the present, into the future. That means to live, dying every day. Do it, and you will find out what it means to live completely today. Isn't that what love is? You don't say, I will love tomorrow, do you? You love or you don't love. Love has no time, only sorrow has time. Sorrow being thought as in pleasure. So one has to find out for oneself what time is, and find out if there is a no tomorrow, that is to live, then there is a life which is eternal, because eternity has no time. So he's talking about this whole idea of enlightenment and becoming, and you have to train or meditate for 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours. He's saying that all that is bullshit. He said it's a revolution that can happen right now in this moment within yourself. If you start to realize that what is right now is what is. And the discomfort and restlessness and suffering that we exist, that causes us to seek for pleasure continuously and to avoid fear, is all about thought. That's all it is. About past, projecting into the future. And what I want, what I need, what I crave, and how am I going to get it, right? So all this is fulfilling, it's a self-fulfilling cycle, prophecy of suffering and pleasure, and suffering and pleasure, because nothing is lasting. So he says, instead, examine internally the moment now, whatever it is, without judging. Understand that now. Instead of seeking for an answer to your discomfort or suffering, delve deeply into it and experience it. He's not saying, like in a psychotherapeutic sense, I know why I'm hurting now because of my past, my father did this, or I was abused, or that. That's all bullshit. That's meaningless. He's not about causes. It's about just experiencing it fully, to the full extent. And only in this way is there understanding. And when we sit through it and we stay with it until it becomes unbearable, we open up to it until it becomes unbearable, and we even more, go even further, eventually it just somehow find that it fades away. It evaporates because life continues. Life, awareness, I'm moving through the world. In fact, you can't make that last even if you wanted to. Just like you can't keep your pleasure, you can't make that last indefinitely. So too, you can't make your suffering last indefinitely. So the next time it happens, you recognize it for what it is, as that feeling, and it's not as strong. And the next time it's even less. You recognize it for what it is, you've experienced it, you experience it again. You don't dwell on it and try to think about it and analyze it, unravel it, because that just reinforces it. It's just experience it without thought and without judgment. So if I feel shame or self-doubt, I'm not trying to figure out why. I'm just experiencing it fully. And I'm not judging myself. Oh, I shouldn't feel that way. Or I should give my positive self-talk. I'm really a great person. I'm really a powerful person. No, 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 no. You're just trying to replace or escape or suppress, and that doesn't work because you'll come back again even more powerful. You have to face your enemy. You can't continually to run away, or pretend it doesn't exist, or it's not there, or I shouldn't feel this way, or I shouldn't feel fear. You experience the fear, and you survive it. Just watching, not analyzing, not thinking about it. Just experiencing it all the way, all the way. And that's how it works. So time is thought. Thought is a construct of thinking. Time is a construct of thought. It has no reality apart from getting to work on time, preparing dinner on time, and things like that that we need. We need it for conventional purposes. But other than that, for the purposes of perhaps changing the self so that we can live with bliss, with just freedom from suffering, time is just a hindrance. So that's anyway. This book is this man is amazing. I've read a lot of different sources in the wisdom traditions, and he is amazing. As you read, you feel the shift taking place, and it's just tremendous. And this idea that I, within myself, can achieve this mental capacity that's beyond thought. They call it non-cognitive awareness. It's beyond thinking. It's non-cognitive awareness. It's knowing. Our name is Homo sapiens sapiens. Man, knowing knower, the knowing knower. But we don't live up to that. Because that means man is aware of being aware. Not just aware, like an animal is aware of sensation and reacts to environment, but to be aware of being aware is beyond thought. It's non-cognitive awareness, being. And that is the essence. That is the core of self, of being. Non-cognitive thought, awareness. That is being. That is your essence stripped of everything else. So being and knowing are one. So that's this whole idea of the meditation techniques. They stop the thought, or in the West, change the thought, positive thinking. That's such garbage. You're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to stop anything. You're just aware and experiencing it. That's the secret. All the other forms of meditation are all bullshit. That's the secret to it. So, like I said in the last video, you can practice it yourself. Okay. That's enough for today.